Well, this is Saturday, the delivery day. They wanted me to deliver Friday, but I said, you know, I could be there, but maybe like at 7 o'clock at night. It's gonna be dark. And now I'm really glad that I didn't come here at night. So I called the owner of this winery in Missouri, and we agreed Saturday is okay. So I just slept at the last truck stop and filled up my DF for the first time. And I learned, of course, the DF you have to, you know, fill up later, like after diesel. You know, I put my card in, and I thought DF was first, and the screen says remove nozzle. I take the DF nozzle, put it in the tank, DF tank, and punch the key, you know, to start the flow, and the screen says replace nozzle. Anyway, and then I start driving on I-55, and my GPS, I put in my truck specific, you know, dimensions, big, wide, and it sends me on this tiny road. And the guy didn't tell me that it was best to come from the other direction, like at the earlier exit. So I was going south on 55, and he said it would be better if you took another exit. I said, well, why didn't you tell me? So he didn't give me any directions. And of course this is country, right? So the roads are very small, and basically I was trying to turn, and I'm stuck. Like you can see my trailer in the mirror. There's a sheriff, but they told me I'm not getting any tickets because, you know, it's not my fault that they built roads 3 feet wide and then they send 55-ton lowboy. And you know what, it's one of those cases, there's ditches on both sides, and because I kept so wide, when I tried to back I was screwed because there was no room for the truck, and there was a stop sign there, and we removed the stop sign. There were like 2 bolts at the bottom, and I thought I would make it, but there's ditch, another ditch on that side. And just to give you an idea, check this out, see over there? That's kind of a ditch we're talking about. So a concerned neighbor called the sheriff and called the guy where I was coming. And this is it's a vineyard, right? And the guy was offering me free wine. I said, Jesus, I quit. Just quit 2 weeks ago. And he says, okay, then if you quit, I don't want to give you wine. And if you don't want it, I said, well, I want it, but I don't want it. So they gave me some cookies, but it's a real vineyard, you know. But anyway, so a cop shows up, deputy sheriff, and he calls a DOT cop, right? So then a wrecker shows up because they called the wrecker, and he at first he wanted to drag. And so the wrecker shows up and he wants to drag the rear of my trailer. I said, no way. I said, you're not damaging my trailer. Oh, there's gonna be scratches on your trailer. I said, no, this trailer is 3 months old, but you know, a tow truck guy, he doesn't care. He just there to move and get out, right? I said, no, take your cable, put your truck in here, because I said, I wasn't towing. And this thing happened to me before with the drive-in trailer. I said, hook up your trailer, hook up your cable on the side, and I'll keep driving. And just, you know, put something under the wheels there so that the trailer doesn't tip over, you know. And I saw it actually on TV as well. That's what they do, right? When you're in position like this, I couldn't back up. I only could have gone, you know, straight forward. Just keep as much to the right so that the wheels of the trailer, you know, try to go around. Oh, and I put down my last axle to make the trailer still go wider and for extra support. And he put some, you know, lumber under it, and he didn't want to do it because, of course, that's a lot of work for him, right? And he says, well, you have to go, like, you actually have to inch forward. He says, watch me in the mirror. And I said, okay. And so we just took it real slow, and he was telling me when to stop because he had to, you know, tighten or release his cable. And we made it. Oh, and we had to remove the stop sign because it was too close, so we just... Oh, and the first thing the cop says, did you knock down the stop sign? And he has this stone face, you know. And I said, no, we took it I took a wrench and we took out the bolts and we put it on the ground so that we don't damage it. And we put it back together after, right? But then, and when I made it safely out of that treacherous position, the DOT cop, you know, big SUV, lights, okay, license and registration, please. It takes my license from another cop, you know, and does a level 1 inspection. Level 1 inspection. I'm not gonna say anything. He just walks around and checks brakes, and the tow guy says, "Be extra nice." He says, "I know these guys." So I'm like, "Yes sir, no sir, good morning, how are you?" You know. And he goes around, takes everything, and just gave me a driver examination report. No violations found. Have a good And this is where I spent 2 hours of my life this morning. My truck is back. So I was coming from the right. You see, that's where my tires were on the trailer. I had to remove the sign. And that helpful lady called the cops. Thanks a lot. And you see, it's all very sharp. And if the angle between that road and this one, it's more than 90 degrees. You know, and even though I stayed as far to the right as possible. Yeah, so I came from there, right? And I was supposed to come from there, where the pickup truck went. And so I went as far as possible, like this way. And later on, the tow truck guy told me that, he says, the way they do it, you go to the left and then you back your trailer back here. But I mean, it's all ditches here, you know. There's the rocks. I don't know. Of course, it will be. That's why the guy paid for the tow. I didn't pay because he didn't tell me that there was such a bad. See, like this road and this road, right? It's more than 90 degrees, so you cannot make this turn, no matter how smart you think you are. So you have to come from this way. And I went all around like this, trying to stay as close here as possible. And of course, because of that, I was screwed afterwards because I couldn't back out because my truck was too close to this side. I mean, you know, so the trailer was jackknifing. Oh, and this is where the guy had his legs, the support legs. Did you know that stop signs are held like this? There's 2 screws in here. 2 bolts, but there's nothing on this side. You know, what the heck? We started unscrewing them. Turns out they use perpendicular bolts. See these here? It's the same bolt goes like this. So if I unscrew this, you can take it off. So everything's cool. So now I just have to make this turn going left without getting stuck again. But this is much wider, more space, and of course turning left, it's okay. And I'm back at Love's truck stop where I was this morning. The price of fuel is unbelievable in Missouri. This is Bloomsdale, Missouri, exit 157 of I-55. And diesel is 3.29. So 3.29 minus 5 cents discount, so it's like 3.24. I don't remember the last time the price of diesel was this low. So anyway, so now I just have to scan my paperwork so that I get paid for this trip. And I tried my scanner. For some reason the scanner doesn't want to work. It's probably getting old. There's some poor contacts and wire there in the USB cable. So I'm gonna go to the truck stop and see if it'll act better. The guy's backing here. And of course he's backing this way. Why they always try to look at this guy, right? Like he's watching his mirrors, I hope. Yep. And actually it was pretty tight yesterday. Yesterday I slept over there. I was parked on the left over there, right next to the exit and entrance. And because my truck and trailer is so long, you know, they were sticking out. And I was worried people would hit me, you know. So that's why this time I noticed yesterday that there's a parking in here, far away from everything. And since I came back at 11, what is it, like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock? Yeah, 1 o'clock local time. So there's plenty of parking. You know, very nice for the weekend to shut down and just catch my breath from this awful, awful first trip. And I was like, I often think that because I make movies, you know, live kind of throws me, you know, curveballs all the time just to make movies more interesting, you know. It's like really real life TV, you know. But at least everything, you know, all ends well that ends well, right? So I didn't get a ticket. The load is delivered, no damage to my equipment or to the customer's equipment. The bill of sale is signed. He paid the tow bill, so because it was partly his responsibility, right? I'm following my GPS. I'm stuck. Oh, maybe I should send the bill to Garmin, because actually that road that I took back, the road that the guy told me I was supposed to take, it's actually just 5 miles from here. Go south on I-55. It's a much quicker, instead of going around and then you're coming back on that small road, you know. I kind of like trusted Garmin, and Garmin sent me over those hills. Oh, and one more comment. I was trying to think what I wanted to say. One comment on the way back. I'm driving, and this is like really hilly terrain, you know, like up and down, left and right, that country road, 2-lane, and I'm empty, just with the trailer. But of course the trailer is pretty heavy, so it weighs 22,000 pounds, empty trailer. So it's like as if I have a step deck, which weighs, my old step deck weighed 14,000, so it's as if I'm pulling a step deck with 8,000 pounds on it, which is nothing. And yet this truck was struggling on hills, you know. I see my RPM goes down, I had to shift, but of course they're like really big hills, you know, because there's woods and forests everywhere here. It's really stressful. But I'm just thinking, would my International do this or not? Maybe I would have to shift as well, because it is a pretty heavy trailer. So, but I definitely need a bit more horsepower, you know, or maybe torque. So I'm gonna install the Fleet Air filter, because I talked to those guys and I look at the product when I was in Louisville, Kentucky at the show, and it's a much nicer washable filter, because you don't have to carry the entire filter when you need to wash it. You just detach the actual filtering material. It has some couple of velcros and it detaches, and let's say you go somewhere like I don't know, if you're at home or something, bathroom, right, or a shower at a truck stop, you just take that material with you, which weighs nothing. You don't have to carry the entire filter. And I do believe it's a much better product than the competitors, what competitors make. So I'm gonna buy that one. That's about 300 bucks, but it provides a bit more horsepower, better fuel mileage, and you know, you buy it once, you don't have to buy it again. And also it might lower the temperature inside the engine, because I just don't feel comfortable, you know, with the engine running at 243 F. while the coolant is at 170F. Like, what's with that? If the engine is hot, why is the coolant so low? You know? And basically they took care of the coolant, but the oil keeps heating up. But I mean, it sits there, it sits at 243, or like basically 240, 244, you know, on the very edge of the, what they call a red zone. But there's no warnings, no lights, everything is in the green, you know. But hopefully that filter will help a bit, and then I'm gonna switch to synthetic oil, because synthetic oil has more viscosity, so it's more oily, and it handles high and low temperatures better. And this engine definitely is running hot because of all this SCR, and because with the winter coming, I need the oil that, you know, can quickly reach all spots inside the engine when it's cold. So that will prevent you know, wear and tear on the cold engine. Very important. And last but not least, I'm just thinking that, you know, I'm gonna install an axle on the truck, so which means that my truck and trailer will be about 2,000 pounds heavier than what they are now. And I'm thinking, how will this truck, you know, manage that increased weight? So my secret plan, don't tell anyone, but my secret plan is I'm gonna do a couple of loads, like, you know, heavy loads, like this next Caterpillar loader I'm picking up Monday, brand new Caterpillar, big one. What is it, 12 feet tall, you know, 10 feet wide, 47,000 pounds. So I'm gonna gross about 88,000 pounds. So that's heavy, but that's, you know, not real heavy. But I'm gonna look at my experience with some real heavy, like big excavators, 80, 90,000 pounds, and see if this truck can handle that with a 3.91 ratio. If not, I'll have to find somewhere like a couple of grand and change the axle ratio. I think this truck is basically asking for 4.1 or 410, and that's what many heavy haulers you know, use. It's only gonna increase the RPM by like 50 RPM. You know, no big deal, because it's actually, this engine likes high RPM. But it would definitely add torque, you know. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to spend money on a brand new truck. But if the first couple of loads show that it's lacking in, you know, seriously in torque and horsepower for heavy loads, then I will have to do it. Like, what's the point? That's why I bought this truck, for heavy loads. So, well, it's gonna be one very long movie. I better go in and start cutting and editing, and we'll post later today on Saturday, November 1st. Thanks for watching.